on this phone and then on this phone. Obviously YouTube. My partner's just commented he's trying to decide what to play. I'm sorry. I wish I could help you there, my love, but I'm not as good of a gamer as you are, as you probably know. Give me one moment. I'm going to go grab another palette. Okay, so this palette is the Maddie Ziegler palette. This one is a little bit too dark for what I want as well. Just grabbed a few more palettes. I think to achieve the look that I want, I'm going to have to go for more like pastels. So I'm grabbing this one from Morphe. This one is the 35i Icy Fantasy palette. And that's what that looks like. So I am going to blend these pastel colours on top of this, what I have at the moment, and hopefully that is definitely going to lighten up the look a bit more. But while I'm at it, I'm going to grab one of the lighter shades of purple in this. Just so that I can blend it in. Now, I think the reason why these colours are actually showing up so much more pigmented than what I expected was because these are actually pressed pigments, and pressed pigments always tend to be a lot darker, a lot more pigmented. Okay, so that's the kind of purple. I think the closest purple in this palette would be A2, but again, it looks really dark. So maybe I'm just going to go for like a darker interpretation of that look. We will see. Yeah, it's much darker. So I might have to put like one of the shimmer shades just to kind of like brighten it up a little bit more. But again, I'm not going to be very particular with this look, like not going to be very precise. The whole idea of this look is to kind of like give that nice avant-garde, just seamless kind of look. Actually, I don't know if anyone can comment on here. Okay, I'm just checking if on people on YouTube can actually comment and stuff. But yeah, if you guys are on YouTube watching this, feel free to comment. I will try and answer. Same for you guys that are watching on Instagram. This is such a spur of the moment. Oh, hi, Samantha. One of my long-time followers too. Okay. I am honestly not digging it at this point in time. I think it's because the colours are a little bit too dark. So I think I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Morphe palette now. At least I've got this as a base. Hi darling, thank you so much. At this point in time I feel like it's a little bit much, but I'm going to fix it. So again, going into the Morphe palette, I'm going to grab maybe one of the pastel shades like this one, kind of blend it on top of the purple that I already have. And just... okay, that is the colour I was looking for. That is the shade of purple. Just think of Barney the dinosaur, but as an eyeshadow. Just gonna feather this towards the brow. Again, this is kind of like an avant-garde look that I'm going for, so it doesn't have to be too precise in terms of application. Kind of want it to look a little bit messy, just so that it's really nice and blended. Ooh, got 3 people watching on YouTube. Thank you. Just using this. This is like a makeup brush cleaner. It's kind of like that one of those, not scrunchy, but like, you know, those donut things that you use for hair, kind of like material. I don't know how to describe it, but you basically just brush your brush in there like that, swirl it in there, and it gets rid of any of the loose pigments. Obviously the brush is stained, but that's fine. I can live with that. Just realized this palette doesn't actually have a pink. It does have a salmon shade though, so I think that salmon shade will have to do. Yeah, that salmon shade is working, which is great. I'm going to use this to kind of like blend into the brow, kind of like using the pink that's already on my eyes and blending it upwards. I want to make this sort of like a kaleidoscope of colours possible. Oh yeah, got a couple of thumbs up on YouTube. Don't think anyone's leaving any comments. Not that I can see. Sorry if you are. I can't see because I'm using the app on my phone. I don't think there are. But if you are, sorry, I'm not purposefully ignoring you. I can't see any. Just blending it. Blending. Oh, hello. It's my partner as well that's actually commenting and watching on YouTube as well. Actually, wow, I've got 4 people on YouTube now. Hello, thank you. Okay, I need maybe a pale orange. I've got 2 shades of orange that I could possibly use in the Morphe one. I might just use this pastel one over here to blend out the outer corner. I just want to look at the reference photo again, just to be sure. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is like really avant-garde. So I might just kind of like blend a little bit and then do the base and then blend a little bit more. But I want to see what this pale orange looks like once I put it on top. Okay, that is definitely working. Like putting it on top of that burnt orange. But now I think it's a little bit too light. So I might have to use that shimmery one. I kind of wanted to keep this all matte, but if I need to use a shimmer, I will have to use a shimmer. Okay, that's really not showing up either. I might have to find another palette. Yes, I'm trying to blend that. I think this is... Okay, I'm like going through all my Morphe palettes just to see which one is going to be a good one for this. Just give me one moment. I think maybe the James Charles one is going to be good. I know James Charles has got a lot of controversy, but honestly, this is like the only sort of like rainbow eyeshadow palette that I truly can rely on all the shades. There have been a couple of rainbow palettes I've used where some have been okay, not all. So yeah, I'm just gonna grab the actual orange shade. It's like that shade as well. And blend. Okay, this one is definitely showing up a lot more. I think it's going to give me the look that I am going for. Yeah, it's like that really bright sort of like orange, like the fruit orange shade that I was looking for. I'm not going to overblend it just yet because I have to do the base. But just kind of blending it in like that. This look is actually looking really nice already. I feel, you know, when I start putting on the lashes and the liner, I think this is going to look even better. Yeah, I don't know. I might have to retouch with some of the pink later. I might use the pink in this eyeshadow instead, eyeshadow palette instead, but we'll see how it all goes. Kind of need to blend that one a little bit more. I think the dark orange is still showing. I don't really like that dark orange anymore. Hello everyone that's joining me on Instagram. Yeah, I'm kind of creating this kaleidoscope, like avant-garde look at the moment, but we'll see how far I can take this. I'm going to go ahead and prep the base because the rest of the look kind of like blends out onto the cheeks, so I need to do the base. So I'm going to start off first by using some MAC Strobe Cream. So this is just a really nice, I guess, sparkly, shimmery type moisturizer that you use underneath your makeup. This is kind of like a pearlescent, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got like a almost metallic shift. It just serves as a really nice base, to be honest. I've had this particular one for a couple of years now, and it's still good. Don't know if you can see that on camera, but it has like that nice metallic shift. It just gives the skin a really nice luminous finish, and that's the kind of look that I've really been going for the last few years now, I think. Trying to find all my products. I think I've put them away. Okay, so I'm grabbing this one from MAC as well. This one is their Pro Conceal Correct palette. So I'm going to use this to color correct, also do some contouring. I'm a recent convert of like cream contour, that sort of stuff. Oh, thanks, darling. Yeah, it definitely gives a nice glowing finish to the skin. Am I saying your name right, Sama? Am I saying it right? Sorry, darling. Because when I read it, I read Samaho. But let me know how I actually say your name. I want to say it properly. Thank you. I mean, like, it's getting there. It's getting there. If you aren't familiar with the whole orange on the 5 o'clock shadow, that just helps me sort of like conceal the facial hair underneath. I just don't like Samaho. Okay, thank you. Yeah, if you aren't familiar with the whole orange on the 5 o'clock shadow, that serves as a color corrector, kind of like neutralizes it so that when you put on your foundation and stuff, it doesn't give you a shadow of green or blue. This is just like one of my favorite techniques to use. Next, I'm going to apply a little bit of translucent powder. So I've got this one from KVD Beauty. This is their Locket Set Powder. If you guys aren't familiar with KVD, it used to be Kat Von D Beauty, but then, yeah, everything happened, so it's now just KVD Beauty. Still available at Sephora. Still a decent powder. Sorry, brushes are just behind the camera. So I just like to dust a little bit of this. Or any powder really, because it just needs to set so that when you put on your foundation, it doesn't blend in. Hi Justine. She's one of my friends from the Philippines when I lived there when I did college. Yeah, college. Hi, darling. How are you? Okay, so what was I doing? Now I'm going to move on to some contouring. So I'm going to use this one again from MAC. So I like to use a combination of these two shades. I usually just use the darker one, or mostly the darker one, for the actual sculpting, and then the bronzy one more for bronzing. So I am going to grab a brush, really up close and personal. This one, Quartz Beauty. I just really like this one. It's kind of like the traditional paintbrush, but I like to use it for that angle itself. So I'm just gonna dig in there, grab a bit of product, and sculpt away. Doesn't have to be precise, because when you do your blending of foundation on top, you can kind of conceal it a bit. But yeah, I try and make the line as prominent as possible. Kind of like that. Chisel out that cheekbone. Looks insane at this point in time, but trust the process. Trust the process. Chisel out that jawline. And now I have to find a brush for my nose. Last time I contoured, I forgot to actually contour my nose, and I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And then I contoured with powder, like once everything was set. It just didn't look the same. It didn't have the same sort of like natural wowness. Obviously, I've already put some shadow there, so I'm not going to go all the way there. So I'm just going to contour the bottom half of my nose. I think that should be fine. But if I overblend, oh well, I'm just going to have to reapply a bit of that purple. But this is how I like to contour my nose. just like that. Just really, mostly the tip. I think that's pretty much where I kind of need definition. Well, I don't need it, I just like the definition there on the tip. Right, so I'm just going to use the same brush, actually. I was going to look for another brush, but who am I kidding? I'm just going to grab the lighter shade, and then just a dab or two in the darker shade as well, because I still want that depth when I contour. So now I'm just going to go ahead and kind of like dab, dab, dab on the top there. Just like that. Maybe kind of blend it out a tiny bit using the same brush. Looks hella crazy, I know. Looks hella crazy. Again, trust the process. Trust the process. Okay, now in terms of foundation, I actually chose, where is it? Where is she? Chose this one, MAC Studio Sculpt Foundation. Actually, I've got a lot of MAC at the moment out. That was kind of unintentional, but I like these products anyway. So MAC Studio Sculpt is kind of like a fuller coverage foundation as well. So I'm just going to start with a few dabs just like that, and then just use my beauty sponge to blend them out. Don't know if you can see that. Blending the foundation on top, you can still kind of see a little bit of the shadow. Hi Oki, the color corrector that I'm using is this one from MAC. This one is Pure Orange. You can get it in a palette like this. This one is their Pro Conceal and Correct palette, or you can get them individually. Sorry, I think someone left a comment on YouTube. Foundation over under contour is always satisfying. Yes, Megan. Is it Megan or Megan? I know some people prefer to pronounce it differently. Yeah, I really like it. I just feel like it just looks so natural, so seamless. Okay, now I've got a question on the other one. What time is it in Australia? It is currently 9:55 in the evening here in Melbourne, Australia. I think some states are a bit different time zones. I think Perth is in a different time zone. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, that's the time it is here at this point in time. How am I just in a t-shirt? Well, before I actually started, my partner and I turned on the heater like full blast, so that it'd be nice and toasty. But don't be fooled, I'm wearing like wool pajama pants and also UGG boots underneath to kind of keep things warm, because eventually this room is going to start to feel really cold. I take it you're from Melbourne as well? Okay. What makeup brands do you use the most? This is a question on Instagram by Ophi. I don't really know. I kind of switch things up, to be completely honest. It always changes. There are days where I prefer drugstore, and if I do go for drugstore, I will go for Maybelline and L'Oreal. Those are like my main go-tos, and also Rimmel London. But there are days where I kind of want to be a bit bougie and want to try and use some of my more luxe products. Not that I have a lot of luxe products. I feel like when you say luxe, you think Armani, Lancome. I don't actually own any of those brands. I think the most luxe makeup item I own at the moment is probably Marc Jacobs. And I heard Marc Jacobs is closing down. But yeah, to answer your question, those are like my most used brands. Or when I'm being a bit bougie, sorry, I forgot to answer that. I tend to use my Too Faced stuff. I use my MAC products. Yeah, those are kind of like my go-to ones. Okay, my nose contour is being a little bit hard to blend out, but I think I can. Oh, hi, Snatch like Ryan. Hello. Um, okay. I think I need to put a little bit more foundation. I'm just like doing little dabs of foundation, um, just to make sure. Sorry, I'm just making sure all questions and stuff are being answered on both streams. Yeah, I think I need a bit more foundation just on the 5 o'clock shadow. That's the thing with a really pigmented color corrector. It's really effective at covering that orangey look, but sometimes you need to apply a bit more foundation. So depending on what like your skin is like, it may actually make it look worse. So it's always a bit of a balancing act. Got a question here from Summer Ho. Are you going to be using highlighter? Yes. I'll be using a powdered highlighter once everything is done. Megan's asking again a question on YouTube. Do you buy your drugstore items? Sorry, it's kind of disappeared. Where'd it go? Do you buy your drugstore items from Priceline, etc. in Australia? Always see new releases on TikTok, YouTube that take forever to reach us. Um, yeah, actually, I tend to prefer to go to Priceline. Mostly because I'm currently working with them every now and then as part of the influencer program. So what that means is sometimes we get a gift card worth $100, and they give us a brief of stuff to check out. And sometimes there's a bit of extra money left after we purchase the stuff that they ask us to purchase using the gift card. So I will check out the new products at Priceline. But there are, yes, some products that just take forever to get here, and sometimes they don't even get here. I remember speaking to someone at L'Oreal once. They did say that they do have marketing people that actually pick products out, and sometimes it just doesn't make it to Australian markets because they feel like it's not going to actually sell well here, even though it's like going viral online, let's say in North America or in Europe. Yeah, but sometimes I will also go to Chemist Warehouse to grab my makeup items because sometimes some brands are available at both. But generally, I tend to shop at Priceline more so, more than anything. So sorry, what was the next question? Ophi's asked, what is the best advice you've received? That's a very deep question. Honestly, I don't know. I guess I don't even remember if this was like from a TV show, if someone actually said this to me. Um, it would have to be don't take everything too seriously. This is like especially true when when I was much younger. I think when you're much younger, there's a lot of pressure put on people to, kind of like have their thoughts organized in terms of what they want to do in the future, like in terms of like their career. And to be honest, I don't even like I'm in my 30s and I still really don't know what I want to do in terms of like my career path. So whoever said that, whether it be a TV show, an actual person that I met in person, that said don't take life too seriously in terms of like your life career, I have to hand it down to them. They know what they were talking about. I don't know why I made this concealer thing so, this whole process with concealer so elaborate. I'm going to be putting eyeshadow on top of this. Actually, I should have actually done the concealer before I put the foundation, but anyway, got carried away. I really like the look of contour underneath the skin. It just looks so subtle, so natural. It's very flattering as well. Okay, let me just try and blend that out a bit more. I don't even know why I did that so much. It's really unnecessary for this look that I'm going to be doing because pretty much the bottom half of the eye is going to be covered in eyeshadow anyway. My friend Justin has also asked, how do you maintain healthy skin? Love your skin, miss you also. I miss you too, darling. Next time I'm in the Philippines, I'm definitely going to hit you up. We're going to catch up. Sorry, what was it? I got carried away. I was busy blending. How do you maintain healthy skin? To be completely honest, it's really just a lot of skincare at the moment. trying to eat healthier. Like lately, I haven't really been eating the best, but eating healthier. Water intake. I love drinking a lot of water these days. So that's what I would normally. That's what I would say. But if you're asking specifically, like what products I like to use to maintain my skin, so number one is like sunscreen, prevent that damage from even happening. And even if you have some damage, you can kind of like still reverse things. A good AHA, BHA, like glycolic acid, salicylic acid, whether it be a toner or a moisturizer. Also good moisturizer, just like a good moisturizer in general, and also vitamin A. I have recently been using vitamin A more on the regular, and I honestly have actually gone overboard here and there. So yeah, I think if you use those products, it's a really good combination and it will help preserve your skin. But I have to also say I'm probably lucky because I also probably have good skin because of my genetics, because my parents both have fairly good skin, especially my mum, but she also uses skincare as well. My dad, not so much, I don't think. Okay, so I'm just gonna set that down. Sorry, there was another question on YouTube. Oh no, sorry, Instagram. I can't get rid of the keyboard. um, Agreed. Your skin looks so smooth. Thank you. I worked hard on that. Can you say something in Filipino? Sure. What would you like me to say? Hello, kamusta? Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. At marami pong salamat sa inyong panonood sa aking live stream. I just said, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for watching my live stream. I don't really speak Filipino that often these days. Like, I still obviously am conversational, but I just don't use it as often. Most of my family is still, actually, all my family is in Hong Kong at the moment. So I don't really speak to anyone in Tagalog, except a couple of my Filipino friends that happen to live here in Melbourne as well, that I've met through social media. Okay, just making sure I haven't missed anyone's messages. Love you. You are so kawaii. Yeah, actually, I just realized the headband. Yes, kawaii. Yes. I love you too, darling. Thank you so much. Okay, let me just put on. Oh, sorry. I'm going to put on this. No, actually, I don't want to use this one. As much as I love the MCO Beauty one, it's actually a little bit faint. I actually want to use something a little bit more punchier, which I have set aside if I can find it. Oh, there it is. I wanted to use this one from Ciate London. This one is the Dewy Blush Glossy Cheek Tint. This one is like super pigmented. I probably should have applied this underneath the foundation, but oh well. I'm just not going to use as much as I used to use. Just like 2 dots of each on each cheek, and then blend, blend, blend. Do you guys remember Encore Makeup on YouTube? I don't know if Encore is still doing YouTube, but that's where I got that blend, blend, blend Encore Makeup. For those of you guys that watched YouTube like back in the day, it's like one of the OG. I think he was like well and truly one of the first few people that I watched on YouTube, like Michelle Phan, that actually did YouTube videos. Sorry, Ophie, I missed your question. What is your favourite movie and what genres do you usually watch? Movies, I'm more of a TV show buff, to be completely honest. But my favorite movie at the moment would have to be the Justice League. Zack Schneider, yeah. Cut of the Justice League. That one I absolutely love. Hi Richie, hi darling. Yeah, that's my favorite movie at this point in time. I love superhero movies. I'm a huge fan of Wonder Woman, like in the comic books and then on animated shows. Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff I like. Superhero, sci-fi stuff. Those are my absolute favorites. Megan, MCO Beauty confuses me. Some of their items are more expensive than the actual dupe. I have to agree with you, to be honest, darling. It is a bit confusing. Hi, Richie. Hello, darling. Thank you for joining the live stream. Back on YouTube. Yes, I agree. sometimes it's a bit expensive. I think, look, honestly, I work with them, so um, I kind of have a little bit more information than what's available out in the market, but um, I can't. I actually don't know why that is the case. Um, Sometimes they do have releases that are like super obvious dupes, and then some others are like they could be passable dupes. I wouldn't say it is actually. Um, by the way, that's my partner. For those of you guys that are watching this live stream right now, he's saying that he's loving Blacklist at the moment. I am loving the Blacklist at the moment. It's one of my favorite shows at the moment. It's kind of like a cross between Person of Interest and Scandal, if you guys are familiar with those shows. Just absolutely love that. Okay, I think this is the right amount of blush. Actually, I might blend this blush a little bit higher up. Not that it's needed, but I feel like it's nice. Ophi, another question. Yes, thank you. Thank you for these questions. I love it. Keep it on. What are your pet peeves about the makeup industry? Don't get me started. I think the number one. So I'm just looking for my brow stuff. Oh, sorry, I'm looking for my brow stuff. I swear I had it here. Okay, I have two options at this point in time that I can reach. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Pet peeves. Hey. Pet peeves with the makeup industry, I would have to say, is how sometimes things are just like it's very trendy. And trendy in the sense that how do I say this delicately? I find that some makeup brands, especially like, and I'm answering this as an influencer, definitely just hop on the bandwagon and use, let's say, particular people in their campaigns, and then kind of like completely forget about the whole thing. For example, a person of color. A brand will come out with this whole campaign being all inclusive, having multiple shades of a particular product, like let's say for example foundation, or lipstick that caters to, let's say, deeper skin tones, and that's amazing for that time. And then after a few months, they come up, they release another product or another range, and it's not even inclusive again. So you know what I mean? Like it's really just for that particular campaign, and that they were very inclusive, and then they kind of like forget the whole thing. Just really annoying. And then this is like from personal experience, LGBT stuff as well. I was involved in a couple of like not big campaigns or anything, but this particular brand, was using, well, I wouldn't say using me, but was hiring me. I'll just say that to make content, and that was great. And then the following year, they ended up using a cis straight woman, and she wasn't even like a vocally, what's the word? She wasn't very vocal being an ally, so that's what really annoyed me. That they used that person instead, because that person had so many more followers. I mean, like that person's like incredibly talented. Don't get me wrong, but I just found that really bad. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Someone left a question on YouTube. What do you think of the recent rise in hate crimes directed at the East Asian, Southeast Asian community? Okay, well, that's a bit deep. Without really diving right into it, because I kind of want to keep this stream more like makeup related, obviously I'm disgusted with what's been happening. I feel like it's just a lot of ignorance and lack of education, and just people being hateful in general, which is why people, like our people essentially, are experiencing this kind of hatred. But yeah, I think it's disgusting. I think people just need to wake up and learn that we all can live together. And yeah, I think that's, I'm gonna trying to stay as very diplomatic as possible, because like I said, I want to keep this sounding like just fun and just makeup related, because that's what my channel is about. Okay, question on Instagram. Queen, what do you do for Pride Month? Anything planned? Generally for Pride Month, here in Melbourne, actually, I think it's in Australia actually. It's in March. We normally have like a parade, especially in Sydney. They have the whole Pride March and everything, and then we also have Midsummer here. But obviously with COVID and everything, it's just not happening. Here in Melbourne, when it's Pride Month, like the rest of the world, I think here in Australia, we don't really have anything specific. I don't think in the month of June. I think there might have been a festival, but that one got cancelled. But yeah, that's what I would do for Pride Month at the moment. No, I'm not doing anything. Going back to YouTube, in those instances, do you think it's the responsibility of the influencer who aren't the best representatives of the community to decline the campaign? You would think so. But at the same time, I understand this industry can be quite cutthroat, and if you're a full-time influencer, it a paycheck's a paycheck, and you're probably not necessarily thinking this isn't probably the best for me. You're probably just thinking, this is just me trying to justify what this person must have been thinking. But there's so many factors. I'm not going to really dwell into it actually, as to why that person probably got it. But if we're just talking in general, in the ideal world, yes, I think the influencer should be the one that actually thinks about whether or not this is, right fit or not. Like I personally have done that for a couple of things. I've been approached to do, or offered to do, offered money, sorry, I should say, to create certain campaigns or certain looks or to promote a specific product. But at the end of the day, it just didn't really suit my demographic, so I don't really see the point in having it on my page. Like recently, I got asked if I would feature an adult pleasuring accessory. I mean, I'm an adult. I mean, I would, but I mean, I would use it, but I this is all makeup. Like, what? It's not gonna fit. And I kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I'm quite PG when it comes to my social media. I'm open, but I'm not very open, if that makes sense. In that aspect. I didn't think it was going to be a good fit. So yeah, I think I think in the ideal world, yes, I think it's the influencer's responsibility to decline something if they don't feel like they fit it. But at the same time, I understand if they did it because they needed the money, or they had another contract already and they just happened to get that contract. This is just me kind of like speculating. Anyway, going back to the makeup, I'm just looking at the actual photo again. So again, that is what I'm trying to aim for. I feel like I'm kind of like in the right direction, not necessarily there yet. I will kind of just dust a little bit of translucent. Hi, Trace. Dust a little bit of this translucent powder just in the areas where I am going to be adding that shadow. Because if you have a tacky base and then you apply wet eyeshadow, it's going to be a bit hard to blend. It's going to be very pigmented, and I kind of want to make this pastel. Yeah, yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay, going back into my Morphe James Charles palette. Ophi asked again, what are your favourite eyeshadow colours? If you go on my Instagram page, you can probably tell it's a lot of purples. I love purples. I never thought I would be using a lot of purples in my content, but here we are. I love, love, love using purples. I also love using warm tone browns. Warm tone browns are probably one of my most used on my page. Maybe rose gold. I think like rose gold on on the actual eyelid is such a stunning shade. I love when people started, or brands started making more rose gold available shades. I thought that was so, so cool. Now, the image of this model, obviously she's got a fringe, so I can't even tell how far this orange is blended in. But I'm just gonna say blend it all the way up into the hairline for both sides. I wonder if I've missed a Another question. Okay, so far so good on YouTube. Trace, love your work, gorgeous colours. Thank you, darling. I love your work. Check out Trace Face and Beauty, guys. Love her work. Her work's amazing. Ophie, what are your opinions about the cruelty with animals in makeup products? Um, Honestly, I think it is sad that we have to test products out on animals to see if it is safe. You know, you think you already know the chemical compounds, and you think, you know, okay, that's obviously not going to be safe, so we're not going to test it out. But I also kind of understand that in some countries that's not that the law is that they have to test it out on animals first. I feel like that should be changed, but you know, I'm going to be talking about politics. But personally, I think, you know, if we know that the chemical is not safe, we probably shouldn't just use it on animals. Because we already know it's not safe. Okay. I feel like I need to blend this out a tiny bit more. Thanks, darling. I mean, that's just kind of like my opinion on things. I honestly don't really think too much about it. If it can be like cruelty free, that sort of stuff, animal friendly, I will try and use those products a lot more. But I do respect that sometimes some companies, their hands are tied a bit to a certain extent. Okay. Now we're going to go down to some purple again. So I think I'm going to go back into the Morphe Icy Fantasy palette and grab that purple shade. Oh, got another question. In general, do you feel influencers have the responsibility to be woke, politically vocal to some extent? I think it depends on what genre they are. To be completely honest, like if you are, let's say, just like for me, beauty. If it is something that's kind of like related to your genre, I think you should be vocal about it. Or if, in my instance, in my case, being LGBT, yes, I think it's kind of like expected that you would be, but at the same time, it's not your responsibility to be that vocal. I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's kind of like you're in the public eye, yes, and you want to set a good example, yes, but at the same time, you're also just an ordinary person that just happens to have a life on the internet. So it's a bit hard for me to answer, to be honest. But me personally, if you have like for me personally, if I have an opinion that I'm strongly, like I strongly believe in, I should say, obviously I will share it in the most professional and what's the word? Not criticism, positive criticism, yeah, constructive criticism, in that sort of manner, if I can. Words are hard. Also, I kind of like how you guys are asking me like really deep questions. I don't normally get asked questions like this. Hi, Asms. Mate, I'm not magic. I've just said stunning. Thank you. Thank you. Actually, I don't know how far I should blend this. I'm gonna just blend it anyway. Kind of blend it into the blush a bit. Kind of make it like so magical. I think I might sprinkle a little bit of like shimmery eyeshadow on top of this as well, just to add a little bit more that sort of like magical effect. Kind of blending this purple into that orange and also that blush pinkness there. That way it's a little bit more of a gradient effect. I think I'm gonna have to put like another blush on top just to kind of like blend it a little bit more feel like this purple's kind of going a little bit everywhere. Okay, Summer Ho just asked, in Australia, how are the reactions from others when you go out with makeup? I would assume pretty open, respectful. Correct me if I'm wrong. Darling, thank you. In the city, yes. Like here in particular in Melbourne, I when I'm in the city, I don't feel very awkward or unsafe or anything like that. When I'm a little bit further away from the city, I do feel a little bit uncomfortable. I don't know. I feel like cities are a little bit more accepting when it comes to LGBT. I mean, not that the suburbs aren't. It's just I don't know. It's not as, let's just say that the gays aren't as loud in the suburbs sometimes. So um, it's not very common. But that's just me personally. I personally feel a lot um, more comfortable, a lot safer, like walking around in the city here in Melbourne. And also when I was in Sydney, like wandering around when I would visit, all dressed up and in makeup. Don't think anyone really paid too much attention. But I also think it's because I'm a little bit androgynous. Because I feel like that's also another reason why people kind of leave me alone. So in that aspect, I'm not just a bit, I am thankful that people kind of leave me alone because they aren't really sure what my gender is. So they just think, guy or girl, not sure, not gonna piss her off. Like that's what they think. That's what I think they think at least. Um, so I've kind of got that sort of like shield, so that people don't kind of like bother me, I guess. Okay, the next shade is like a pinky shade, so I'm gonna grab a pink. Got a question here on YouTube. Oh, you're so lovely. Don't understand why you don't have more subscribers. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's because of the algorithm, and also I haven't really been active on YouTube like like this kind of active in quite some time. I think I'm gonna dip into this palette, the Such a Gem palette from Morphe now. Gonna grab, it's like a hot pink as well, but it's not as bright, I feel. I'm gonna pop that in here. Okay, that's definitely more the kind of pink that I was looking for. Kind of blend it downwards. Kind of blend it into the purple as well. Ooh, nearly knocked everything over. Just like that. Okay, I think maybe orange. Okay, no. It was kind of like just that pinky shade and then brought all the way into the purple. So I think I'm just going to do that. But I kind of feel like I want to bring the orange back, actually. I might put a little bit of that orange. Oh, Davey. Hello, darling. Thank you so much for joining. I remember meeting you at, where was it? It was like along Collins Street here in Melbourne. I was still a tourist back then. I think Dave was just on a lunch break or something, and I walked up to them. I'm assuming them, sorry, I'll just say them. And I asked if I could take a photo with them, and they were like, yes, yes, yes. I'm so sorry, I'm not ready. So that was just like a lovely story. Dave was like one of the first YouTubers here in Australia that I actually started watching when I moved over here, and to actually meet Dave was amazing. Yeah, I feel like that orange actually works well. Would you ever? Someone on YouTube just asked, actually said, crazy look. Yes, it is. And then also said, would you ever live again in Hong Kong or in the Philippines? Honestly, I don't know. I think I was a different person back then when I lived in those countries, and I'm so different now that if I went back, I think it would be so alien, like a new experience for me. yeah, I don't know if I could. There was a time there when my partner and I were thinking of moving to Hong Kong, before all the stuff that's been happened. Um, and I was kind of hesitant, but also kind of open to the idea because I did kind of miss Hong Kong because, you know, I was born and raised there, so it's always been, always has, and always will be my home. Um, so I'm just grabbing another purple to just kind of like deepen that. So yeah, at one point I did consider going back home. But I think at this stage, no. I don't think I would. In terms of living in the Philippines, no. I've never, like when I lived in the Philippines, I never really felt like I belonged. To be completely honest, I just felt like an outsider, even though I speak the language. Um, and you know, I'm Filipino. I just never felt like I truly belonged. You know, I made friends obviously, but I just felt like an outsider still. And I have to thank some of my friends for helping me feel really comfortable while I was there, but I just never truly felt comfortable. And at the time when I lived there, when if you're gay, that's pretty much how people just see you, just gay. They don't see anything else. Um, So yeah, that's answering that question. Also, I didn't, even though I speak Filipino. I feel like I don't speak it fluently enough. Because there were a couple of times where I think I was saying something, a certain way, and then it was interpreted another way. Um, so yeah, I think I'm more conversational than anything. Um, okay, that's what's happening right now. Um, kind of feel like I need to blend this purple a little bit more. I think. I've just laid like multiple layers of purple to kind of get this shade. Emily on Instagram just said, "Hi Ken, love this colourful makeup look. Thank you so much." Um, I'm feel I don't know. I'm feeling like what's that Lady Gaga album? Love Art, maybe. I feel like I need a bigger fluffy brush. I don't think this is gonna work. I need something to kind of like diffuse. Oh, hey Tay, welcome. Just going back onto YouTube, making sure I'm not missed anything. Emily just asked, what is your best advice for a makeup artist starting soon? Um, I don't know, darling. I'm not a makeup artist. A lot of people always seem to assume that I'm a makeup artist, but thank you. That's a huge compliment to me. Um, honestly, this is coming from someone who's not an actual makeup artist. I think best advice I could give you is to really work on your portfolio, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people actually look at these days, especially like what kind of makeup you've done, and how well you've executed it. I think if you can work on your portfolio, um, it's going to definitely give you an upper hand. So I think most of the time these days people really look at Instagram as like their point of judging whether or not your makeup skills are good. I think that's one way to start. And then maybe also working on different eye shapes, different faces. If you can demonstrate you can work on different faces easily, I think that's going to give you an upper hand in terms of selling your makeup services. Because I've had makeup artists do my makeup, and you know some of them are like really popular. And when they did my makeup, because they're not used to my features, it didn't come out as well as I guess they had hoped. Like you could even tell on their faces they were a little bit perplexed why it didn't work. Um, so I think that's probably my biggest advice. If you can work on different faces, face shapes, um, so you can really get a feel of the industry. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. I'm trying to kind of like blend that purple a bit more. Um, like I've completely gone off from what the look is. I feel like I need a pink blush now to kind of like blend that a bit more. Give me a second. Now that is a bronzer. That is a bronzer as well. I'm not having luck here. That is a bronzer as well. I'm trying to find a blush. Okay, this one. I think this one. No, that's too peachy. I need something that's like pink. Actually, this might work. I've got a NARS palette here. This one is the Most Wanted cheek palette. I'm going to use that sort of like dusty rose shade, just to kind of like blend it a little bit more. I feel like I've just overdone the blending and it's just not working out anymore. So I'm just going to try and save it with some blush. Oh, that's another tip. Don't worry if you messed it up. Just try and find ways to cover it up and make it look like it was intentional. Do you also... Okay, Samaho asked, do you also think you look better in the mirror than on phone camera? I look in the mirror and I'm like, yes, and then take a selfie. I was like, oh no. Yes, actually. It also, honestly, it depends on the camera that you're using as well. Because I do have... I'm very fortunate that, you know, I can afford tech. Certain phone cameras just don't do as well compared to other brands. I've also noticed that it also depends on the focal length. It can kind of alter the shape of your face, and also if the camera is like super high def, it's going to really show all the flaws in your face. So I get that as well. Sometimes I look in the mirror, it doesn't look that bad, but then when I look on camera, it's like pores galore. Okay, I feel like I kind of saved the look. I think. I'm not sure. Okay, now I'm just gonna grab liquid liner. Just gonna draw lines. Okay, now the questions so far. Sorry guys, I'm concentrating on my liner. I can see that you guys have asked questions. I'll answer them as soon as I stop concentrating on this. Okay, liner is done. So I've got 2 questions. Actually, a few actually. This is a look, yeah, definitely. Um, how did you team up with Ilo, and what is your favorite lash of theirs? By the way, that was the question from Emily. I got approached by them. So I think I've been on their PR list for quite some time, and suddenly I just got an email asking if I would like to be part of their lash squad. So the lash squad is like basically, I think it was four, yeah, four handpicked influencers to basically showcase the different types of lashes and styles they have. Me personally, my favorite lash styles from them are from their most wanted range, specifically I Heart This, Gimme Gimme, and also one of my recent favorites is from their Kami collaboration, which is Self Worth. If you guys go on my Instagram, you guys can probably see some of the looks I've done with those lashes, and I always almost always mention what lashes I'm using. Some of her ask, and what's your favourite highlighter in the moment? Searching for one, I always use a shimmer eyeshadow. Look, to be completely honest, you can use a shimmer shadow. I feel like they actually give you the most bang for buck and for highlighting, and yeah, I like using them as well. But highlighters, it always changes to be completely honest. But ones that I always seem to go back to are these ones from Maybelline. These ones are the Master Chrome by Face Studio. This one is the Molten Rose Gold one, which I am going to be using today. I love this one and also the gold one. If you guys have the gold one, it's a really nice dupe for Oh Darling from MAC, which is an extra dimension skin finish as well. Really beautiful on the skin. Emily, that liner is so good. The Hyper Sharp, I think it's called, from Maybelline. I think it is actually. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Hyper Easy. Don't know if that's gonna show. This is the Hyper Easy. One of my favorites actually. Kind of reminds me of eyeliners that I used to use in Asia, which are really fine and really good for people that have hooded eyes. Also good for like just getting really close in general. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab the lashes. So these ones are like, I'm using a different packaging. I kind of like just strap these lashes on there. These ones are the I Heart This from Eyelure, which I'm gonna be using today. Actually, I need to put on some mascara first. Oops, beauty sponge just fell. Summerho, thank you. I have to go, darling. Love you all. Look, can't wait to see a photo on the gram. Keep doing you. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for joining the chat and also asking me questions. I absolutely love chatting with you, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Okay, Maybelline Sky High Lash Sensational Mascara. I always like to just pop on a little bit before I actually put on the lashes. Not a lot, just a little bit, just like that. And I might put some on the lower lash line as well. So I think I've been streaming for like an hour and a half. Normally when I do makeup looks like this, it probably just takes me an hour. Actually, that's a lie, maybe an hour and a half as well, because I'm usually watching a show. Okay, now while that dries, I'm going to put on some lash glue. Yes, I found it. So lash glue I like to use is the Eyelure Lash Fix It Clear Finish. I know they have black finishes as well, But honestly I prefer the clear ones just because sometimes I'm a bit of a mess when it comes to application and I don't want to put the black one and then ended up having like a big blob of dark lash glue on my eyelid and ruin the eye makeup. It's a generous amount. Emily, can you recommend any good setting sprays or primers? It depends on what the skin type is when it comes to primers, to be honest. For primers, if you have like oilier skin, um, open pores, a lot of wrinkles, that sort of stuff, you kind of want to smoothen out the canvas. Anything with a lot of silicones, honestly, really good. Benefit Professional is still one of my favorites when it comes to like a silicone type primer. If you're looking for like more hydrating ones, just to give a nice luminous finish, Max Studio a strobe cream is actually really good. In terms of setting sprays, I feel like the Urban Decay All Nighter ones are really good. Scandinavia, I think, are a little bit cheaper than Urban Decay, really good as well. But to be completely honest, when it comes to setting sprays, I just kind of like use whatever, because I just kind of use it to get rid of the powdery finish on the skin. So it just, again, depends on what you're actually trying to achieve. But those are my recommendations. I'm just going to grab a lippy. So the lipstick that I have from Burmese Dream, which is an Australian brand. I think I'm going to go for like a slightly orangey, peachy shade maybe. Just kind of like seeing what shades are out there. Okay, so I might use this one from Burmese Dream again. This one is called a sheet, or chit, C-H-I-T. Chit, I think. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, so I'm gonna find my lip liner. I'm sorry, my desk is a mess and I don't know where things are. Alright, so this one from Urban Decay is one of my favourite ones to use at the moment. I don't even know what name it is. Oh, there we go. It's called Conspiracy. Like that, just to get a little bit of a line. And then I'm going to use the lipstick, and this is liquid lipstick. I believe it dries down matte. Just wanted something like peachy. The inspiration photo had more of a maroon shade, I think. Burgundy, sorry, it was like a burgundy shade. But I feel peachy is probably going to be more appropriate. My partner just said in the chat the back room is never a mess. You guys can't see it, but it is such a mess. All the time, 24/7. Okay. The lash glue should be fairly dry now. Just gonna grab the lash. I think it's still a bit wet. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it there until it kind of goes a little bit tacky. Hello everyone's joining. think it's drying down perfectly. Hi Justin, welcome to the chat. Just letting that lash glue dry before I do anything else. I don't want to move it too much, otherwise I'm going to mess it up. Let's see. I'm just making sure that I'm still on track with this makeup. Like I haven't strayed too far. I think I have though. I think I've gone way too far. But hopefully it still looks okay. Hi Quincy. Thank you for joining the stream. Alright, let me just put this down, make sure things are still sticking where they need to stick. I feel like the caption for this video, like when I upload the photo and stuff, like what products I use is going to be a nightmare because I used a bajillion palettes to achieve this look. Oh well, all for the art. Okay, so I'm just going to end the stream on YouTube because I don't think anyone else is watching now. And I'm going to finish off a little bit more on Instagram.